Did you know women over 60 are silently checking your body before you even say a word? And it's not what you think. It's not your wallet or car. It's your hands, your posture, your eyes, and even the shoes on your feet. Today, I'll reveal the top 5 body parts that speak louder than any conversation, showing whether you're confident, capable, and truly taking care of yourself, even at 60 and beyond. Here's the thing. Women notice details that men often overlook. Hands that are steady, well-groomed, and strong send a message of reliability. Posture and shoulders tell a story of vitality and discipline without saying a word. Eyes communicate honesty, awareness, and emotional depth. Even the hair on your head or face can hint at self-respect and style. And don't underestimate the subtle signals from your shoes or forearms. These small cues can make a huge difference in how you're perceived, proving that confidence and care never fade with age. If you want to leave a lasting impression without saying a single word, pay attention to these 5 areas. Hit that like button if you're ready to master these subtle signals, and watch how women naturally respond to your confidence and presence over 60. You might not realize it, but a woman over 60 will notice your hands before you even speak. Yes, your hands. They're one of the first things she looks at, and they tell a story about who you are and how you live your life. Are they steady or nervous? Rough or well kept? Confident or hesitant? These small details send signals that words often can't. Hands show your daily habits. A man who takes care of his hands demonstrates discipline, attention to detail, and respect for himself. Clean nails, smooth skin, and a steady grip indicate a level of self-care that women subconsciously recognize. On the other hand, rough, neglected hands can suggest neglect, not just of appearance, but of lifestyle and health. It's not about perfection. It's about showing you value yourself and your life at this stage. But it's not just appearance. How you use your hands also matters. The way you gesture when talking, how you hold a cup of coffee, or how you interact with objects around you communicates confidence and composure. Women notice these movements even before they notice your face. Hands that move with purpose show you're in control, calm, and capable. There's another layer to this. Hands reveal physical strength and energy, especially for men over 60. Strong, steady hands hint at vitality, even if you're not lifting weights every day. It's a subtle indicator that you're still active, engaged, and living life intentionally. These cues are more powerful than words because they're instinctive. Women pick up on them without thinking. They sense reliability, capability, and presence through the small, consistent details your hands reveal. Finally, think about touch. The first handshake, the way you help someone with a door, or the casual brush of a hand while passing something, these interactions carry weight. A confident, respectful touch adds to your overall presence and makes women feel safe and valued. So, if there's one thing to take away from this, it's simple. Pay attention to your hands. Groom them, move them with confidence, and let them tell the story you want women to see. Hands are not just functional, they're a reflection of who you are, and at 60 or beyond, they speak volumes without a single word. You might not realize it, but the way you carry yourself can say more than 1,000 words. For women over 60, posture and shoulders are like a silent introduction before you even speak. The moment you walk into a room, the way your body aligns itself tells a story about your energy, your confidence, and how you treat yourself. Slouched shoulders or a hunched back don't just affect how you look, they change how people perceive you instantly. Posture is more than appearance. It's a signal of vitality and presence. A man who stands tall with shoulders back and head held naturally communicates strength without effort. It shows that he takes care of his body, that he values himself, and that he's aware of the space he occupies. Women notice these subtle cues, even if they can't put them into words. Upright posture is associated with energy, balance, and resilience, all qualities that are attractive at any age, but especially after 60, when maintaining health and vitality becomes increasingly important. Your shoulders, in particular, play a quiet but powerful role. Broad, relaxed shoulders indicate confidence and ease. Tension, rounding, or stiffness, on the other hand, can signal stress, fatigue, or a lack of engagement with life. Women pick up on these signals instinctively. They notice how you carry the weight of your life, literally and figuratively. A man who carries himself with ease demonstrates that he's not only aware of his physical presence, but also emotionally grounded. Posture also influences interaction. The way you sit across from someone, the way you turn toward them in conversation, or even how you reach for a cup of coffee can all be affected by your shoulders and stance. Open, relaxed shoulders invite connection. Slumped or tense shoulders can create distance, even subconsciously. Small adjustments, rolling your shoulders back, standing tall, and walking with a steady pace can completely change the impression you make. Finally, posture communicates self-respect. It's a visual cue that you care about yourself and your well-being. Women notice when a man invests in his physical presence. They notice the subtle strength it takes to maintain good posture, and it speaks to discipline and consistency over time, qualities that matter deeply when assessing character and vitality. In short, posture and shoulders are silent storytellers. They reveal energy, confidence, and life experience before a single word is spoken. At 60 or beyond, standing tall isn't just about looking good, it's about showing women that you're fully present, capable, and intentional in the way you live your life. Your eyes do more than see. They communicate. And for women over 60, a man's eyes are one of the first things they notice. They're not just looking at color or shape. They're looking at what your eyes reveal about you, your alertness, your presence, and your emotional awareness. Eyes have a way of speaking before words ever form, and the message they send can be incredibly powerful. When a man makes consistent, calm eye contact, it communicates honesty and confidence. Women notice when someone can hold their gaze without discomfort or defensiveness. It doesn't have to be intense or piercing, just natural and steady. Eyes that wander constantly or dart nervously can signal distraction, hesitation, or a lack of focus, which women unconsciously register as a subtle red flag. At 60 and beyond, demonstrating attentiveness through your eyes shows that you are fully engaged, both with life and with the people around you. There's also depth in the eyes. Life experience, wisdom, and empathy often show in the way a man's eyes move, react, or light up in conversation. A genuine spark, a thoughtful pause, or a warm expression can communicate openness and approachability. Women sense these small cues instinctively. They can tell when a man is emotionally available, thoughtful, and grounded just by observing his eyes. Beyond emotional cues, eyes also reveal physical vitality. Bright, alert eyes indicate that a person takes care of themselves, sleeps well, and is mentally present. Eyes that appear dull, tired, or unfocused can unintentionally suggest fatigue or disengagement. Even subtle things like a relaxed brow or the way you blink add to the impression you leave. Women pick up on these signs immediately, often without realizing it themselves, because our brains are wired to read expressions and micro-movements. Your eyes also guide connection. When you engage someone, how you look at them, the timing, the warmth, the subtle attentiveness, can create trust and openness. It's not about staring or forcing intensity, it's about showing presence, interest, and a sense of awareness. A simple, confident glance can convey far more than 1,000 words, establishing a level of comfort and respect that women notice deeply. In short, your eyes are one of the most powerful tools you have to communicate without speaking. They reveal confidence, attentiveness, life experience, and emotional intelligence, all qualities that women over 60 value deeply. If you pay attention to how you use your eyes, they will quietly do the work of showing your best self, creating connection, and leaving a lasting impression. At this age, presence speaks louder than words, and nothing conveys presence quite like the eyes. Hair is more than just a physical feature, it's a signal. And for women over 60, a man's hair communicates far more than most men realize. It's not about having a full head of thick hair or looking like a magazine model. It's about care, attention, and the story your hair tells about how you treat yourself. Even gray hair, if kept well, can reflect wisdom, experience, and self-respect. The first thing women notice is grooming. Clean, well-maintained hair sends a message that you take care of yourself. It shows discipline and pride in your appearance without needing words. On the other hand, neglected hair or a messy scalp can suggest a lack of attention to detail, or worse, a casual disregard for yourself. Women notice these subtle signals instinctively. They can read the story your hair tells before you even introduce yourself. Style is also important, but it doesn't have to be complicated. A hairstyle that suits your face, is clean, and looks intentional communicates thoughtfulness and confidence. Women sense when a man has taken the time to understand what works for him. It doesn't need to be trendy, it needs to show that you care about how you present yourself. This small but consistent effort communicates reliability and self-respect. Scalp health is another layer to consider. Healthy hair reflects healthy habits. Regular washing, attention to scalp condition, and avoiding neglectful habits like harsh chemicals or excessive sun exposure all signal that you're actively maintaining your well-being. Women notice these details, even if only subconsciously. It adds to an overall impression of a man who is attentive, capable, and disciplined in life. Even hair color, whether natural or gray, tells a story. Gray hair, when embraced and cared for, communicates wisdom and maturity. It can give a man a distinguished look that women often find appealing because it signals experience, stability, and authenticity. Trying to hide it in an unnatural way can have the opposite effect. It suggests discomfort with aging or a lack of acceptance of oneself. Finally, consider the small moments, brushing your hair back, adjusting it when necessary, or even how you style it for different occasions. These subtle gestures reflect confidence and self-awareness. Women notice these cues because they reflect more than vanity. They reflect a lifestyle of care and attention. In short, hair is a silent communicator. It shows women over 60 whether a man respects himself, maintains his health, and pays attention to details. It doesn't matter if your hair is thick, thin, or completely gray. The key is care, intention, and consistency. When you take the time to care for your hair and scalp, you're sending a message that you're present, capable, and thoughtful, a combination that leaves a lasting impression long before you speak a word. Your smile is more than just a curve on your face. It's a signal that speaks before you even say a word. For women over 60, the way a man smiles or carries his mouth communicates warmth, approachability, and confidence. It's one of the first things they notice because it reflects your emotional presence and how comfortable you are in your own skin. A genuine smile is about more than showing teeth. It's about the energy it conveys. When a man smiles naturally, it signals authenticity. Women can instinctively sense the difference between a smile that is forced and one that is effortless. The right smile communicates calm, friendliness, and openness, all of which make you more approachable and trustworthy. At 60 and beyond, a man who smiles confidently shows that he's comfortable with himself and the life he has built. Even subtle details matter. The condition of your lips and teeth says a lot about self-care. Lips that are cared for, teeth that are clean, and a relaxed jawline indicate that you pay attention to the little things, which often reflects your overall lifestyle. Women notice these details instinctively. They may not articulate it, but it shapes their perception of your reliability, health, and presence. A smile also impacts interactions in real time. Think about the way you greet someone, laugh at a shared joke, or react in conversation. Your mouth communicates engagement, empathy, and attentiveness. Women notice when a man's expressions match the situation naturally, creating a sense of ease and connection. Conversely, a tense mouth or tight-lipped expression can signal discomfort, stress, or emotional distance, even if everything else about you seems composed. There's also power in moderation. You don't need to smile constantly, nor does it need to be exaggerated. The most effective smiles are those that are well-timed and genuine. A controlled, authentic smile conveys confidence and emotional intelligence. Women over 60 often pick up on this subtle balance, appreciating men who can communicate warmth without overdoing it. Finally, your smile is a reflection of attitude. It shows how you face the world, whether with openness, patience, and positivity, or with guardedness and tension. At 60 or beyond, maintaining a relaxed and approachable expression demonstrates that you are emotionally mature, self-assured, and aware of the small cues that influence human connection. In short, your mouth and smile are silent communicators. They convey confidence, warmth, attentiveness, and care. Women notice these details instinctively. When you maintain a natural, thoughtful smile and care for your lips and teeth, you send a message of self-respect, presence, and emotional intelligence. At this stage of life, these qualities matter more than any words ever could, and they leave a lasting impression long before a conversation begins. Forearms and arms are more than just physical features. They're silent indicators of a man's lifestyle, discipline, and vitality. For women over 60, these areas often communicate more than words ever could. They notice not just size, but tone, posture, and how you move your arms. These subtle cues reveal whether you take care of yourself, stay active, and maintain strength even at 60 and beyond. Strong, steady forearms signal capability and engagement with life. They suggest that you're physically active, whether through regular exercise, gardening, daily tasks, or hobbies that require movement. Women notice these details instinctively. They can sense energy, stamina, and physical confidence through the way you carry yourself and interact with your surroundings. Even without speaking, your arms convey a sense of reliability and competence. It's not about having massive muscles or looking like a bodybuilder. It's about proportion, tone, and the way you use your arms. Relaxed, controlled movements show confidence and composure, while fidgeting or stiffness can suggest unease or discomfort. Women over 60 pay attention to these cues subconsciously. They read your body language and posture long before they evaluate your words. Forearms also reveal consistency and care over time. Well-maintained arms indicate that you've invested in your health and strength over the years. Even simple signs like smooth skin, clean nails, or a lack of unnecessary tension can communicate discipline and self-respect. It's the combination of visual cues and movement that makes this part of the body so telling. Your arms also play a role in interaction. How you extend a hand for a handshake, reach for an object, or gesture during conversation communicates confidence and awareness. Strong, controlled, and fluid gestures make women feel at ease and signal that you are present and capable. Even subtle movements, like resting your arms comfortably while seated, can convey composure and self-assurance. Finally, forearms and arms reflect vitality and life engagement. Women notice when a man's arms suggest that he is active, capable, and attentive to his physical well-being. It's a subtle but powerful message. Even at 60 or beyond, you're still in control, disciplined, and intentional about your health and presence. In short, forearms and arms are silent storytellers. They communicate strength, discipline, vitality, and composure without a single word. Women over 60 notice these cues instinctively because they reflect lifestyle, self-care, and presence. By maintaining tone, movement, and subtle care, your arms can leave a lasting impression, showing that confidence, capability, and attention to detail never fade, no matter your age. Feet and shoes might seem like small details, but for women over 60, they can say a lot about a man. Shoes are more than just protection for your feet. They're a reflection of style, attention to detail, and personal care. Even the way you stand or walk communicates confidence, presence, and discipline. Women notice these cues instinctively, long before they hear a word from you. Well-maintained shoes indicate that a man takes pride in himself and pays attention to the small details. Clean, polished shoes suggest care, discipline, and a sense of personal responsibility. On the other hand, scuffed or worn-out shoes can subconsciously signal neglect or a lack of attention to detail. It's not about expensive brands. It's about showing that you value yourself and your appearance, even in the subtleties that many people overlook. Your feet and posture while standing also communicate more than you might realize. The way you carry your weight, how your feet are positioned, and your walking style all convey stability and confidence. Women pick up on these cues instinctively. Confident, purposeful movement suggests energy and presence, while hesitant or unbalanced steps may signal insecurity or low vitality. Small adjustments, like standing tall with weight evenly distributed, can have a surprisingly strong effect on perception. Shoes also reflect lifestyle. A man who chooses footwear that is practical, clean, and appropriate for the situation communicates awareness and thoughtfulness. Whether it's a casual outing, a formal event, or a daily walk, the right shoes show that you pay attention to context and care about making the right impression. Women notice when a man's choices are deliberate rather than careless, and this subtle awareness can make a strong impression. Even small details like clean socks, properly tied laces, or well-maintained soles contribute to the overall impression. These are not trivial points. They signal a level of self-respect and consistency in habits that women over 60 value highly. They reflect the idea that you take care of yourself from head to toe, quite literally, and that you approach life with intention. In short, feet and shoes are silent communicators. They tell women whether a man is confident, attentive, and intentional in the way he presents himself. They reveal lifestyle, discipline, and presence in ways that are subtle but powerful. At 60 or beyond, paying attention to these small but visible cues demonstrates self-respect and awareness, qualities that leave a lasting impression far beyond words. Your feet and shoes may seem minor, but they are one of the first things women notice when assessing presence, care, and confidence.